Hello, welcome to my Flip over FlipGrid session. My name is Gretchen Robinson and I have been in education for 23 years. I have been a digital learning and teaching facilitator for the Onslow County School System in Jacksonville, North Carolina for the past 15 years. Currently, I'm a Microsoft Innovative Expert and Master Trainer and a FlipGrid certified educator. I can't wait to share my knowledge with you about FlipGrid, and I hope you too flip over FlipGrid like I have. Please make sure to check out all of my FlipGrid resources using this Wakelet QR code. Most of you have probably heard of FlipGrid and have seen a ton of people sharing their experiences for using FlipGrid on social media like Twitter. If you haven't heard of FlipGrid, that's okay. It's a free social learning platform for educators, learners, and families to engage and connect via short recorded video response. My first experience with FlipGrid was back in early 2017, where I used it with a third grade classroom to summarize a reading passage that the teacher wanted them to read and then respond to. So they responded using FlipGrid. Since then, I've had the opportunity to use FlipGrid with hundreds of students, teachers, and administrators, as well as other educators in workshops, conferences, classrooms, and professional development sessions. Each time I introduce it, the reaction is always the same. Wow, there are so many ways you can use this tool. I can't wait to try it out in my classroom. My students are going to love this. I'm sure your reaction is going to be the same. So let's go ahead and get started with FlipGrid. First, you should know the FlipGrid mission, which is to help you, the educator, empower every learner on the planet to share their voice and respect the diverse voices of others. Letting your students have a voice using FlipGrid allows them to share their values, opinions, beliefs, perspectives, and cultural backgrounds in a safe place. Every student benefits from hearing other students' perspectives. Teachers use FlipGrid with their students as an instructional approach based on student choices, interests, passions, and ambitions. Students already spend their lives taking videos, selfies, and interacting on social media like Snapchat, Instagram, and TikTok, so why not use FlipGrid too? Besides being a great discussion platform, FlipGrid is also a great assessment tool. It allows students to use video as an educational tool to show what they've learned. It also teaches digital citizenship lessons of commenting and communicating effectively with others via video. If you have not already created your free educator account on FlipGrid, you can find the link in this PowerPoint that is posted. You can use this link to create your free educator account and help me build my FlipGrid community by using your Google or Microsoft account. The link is signup.flipgrid.com/from/Gretchen 2020. After creating your free educator account, it's easy to get started creating your first topic. You will give your topic a title and some instructions, set the access, and share the unique code with your students. Then your students can log in and will be able to access the topic and then be able to record an answer with a short video response. Whew, that was pretty quick. Let's slow that down and go step by step. After you create your educator account, you can get started by creating your first topic. The topic can be a discussion prompt, a question, an idea, an experiment, or anything that you can think of to allow your students to share their voice. In this example, students were given the topic, "What is it like to live on Mars?" So in the instructions, the students were given a scenario, and then they are asked to research the atmospheric conditions of life on Mars using the attached document and an attached YouTube video. Then they are asked to respond by explaining if Mars is suitable for humans to live and share what they think it would be like to live on Mars using their knowledge of Mars. This is a great way to assess what the students have researched about Mars. So the next step after you've created your topic is to share it with your students. You, the teacher, have control over who has access to your topics. You can share the topics several ways, like using the school's email domain, creating usernames for a list of students, or inviting specific email addresses and giving them a guest password, or even using a combination of these methods. After setting the access, you just need to share the unique code that FlipGrid creates for you. You can copy and paste this code directly into apps like Microsoft Teams, Google Classroom, Remind, or even use the embed code or QR code. Once you share the topic, social learning begins with your students. Your students are now ready to respond to the topic by creating and sharing videos and even responding to their peers. FlipGrid can be accessed on any device with a camera and internet. So your community can access FlipGrid using a computer via the Microsoft Edge or Google Chrome browser, or they can access FlipGrid on a mobile device or tablet using the free FlipGrid app. There is a popular quote, "If you can think it, you can FlipGrid it." So how do you come up with ideas for using FlipGrid? Well, the truth is, the more you see how FlipGrid is used, the more ideas you will come up with yourself. Because there are a myriad of ways that educators, students, and families share on FlipGrid across all ages, subjects, and around the world, FlipGrid came up with this handy list of topic ideas for you to explore. I highly recommend you looking at some of these ideas. For inspiration on finding ideas for topics to use with your students, check out the Discovery Library found right inside your FlipGrid. The FlipGrid Discovery Library is a great place to find ready-to-use topics. They have collections like conversation starters, and learning from home. These are great places to find your first topics. All you have to do is go to admin.flipgrid.com/manage/discovery. Also, make sure to check out all of the partners that FlipGrid has teamed up with, like Lego, Code.org, Wonderopolis, Breakout EDU, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and many more. You are sure to find some great topics to try out with your students. You can even submit your own topics to be found and used in the Discovery Library. We're going to go over 15 topics that I have submitted to FlipGrid. However, these are all based on the Marzano 9 instructional strategies. These strategies are excellent for teachers who are looking to improve student capacity for learning, and based on research, their effectiveness has been shown to do just that. Each of these strategies could be used by a teacher to improve instruction and engagement in their classroom. I've taken these strategies and digitized them to create some FlipGrid topics that you are going to love. Again, these 15 topics that I created are aligned to the Marzano's high yield strategies, and they are featured in the FlipGrid Discovery Library. You can find them using the link on this PowerPoint or search my name in the Discovery Library, Gretchen Robinson. Now we're going to look at each of these ideas and discuss each topic. The Jigsaw classroom is a research-based cooperative learning technique invented and developed in the early 1970s by Elliot Aronson and his students at the University of Texas and the University of California. Since 1971, thousands of classrooms have used Jigsaw with great success. To use this technique with FlipGrid, your first step is to divide the subject, reading passage, video, etc. into 4 to 6 sections. For example, if you want students to learn about the water cycle, then you would divide the subject into 4 topics: evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and collection. Your next step is to divide the students into groups to learn about one of each of the subtopics. You can attach reading passages from Microsoft OneDrive or Google Docs, or link to an online reading passage or video on a website for each topic. Your next step is to assign one topic per student or student group and have them read the passage, watch the video, or do research on their topic. Have the students record videos explaining their specific topic and what they learned. The next step is you have your other students in the classroom then watch the student videos to gain knowledge and learn about all of the topics. Students can respond to their peers to ask questions if they need more information. The ability to compare and contrast has its uses far beyond the classroom, with practical applications in everything from choosing which vehicle to buy to what clothes to wear to school. Comparing and contrasting are requirements for much of our everyday decision making. Comparing and contrasting is one of Marzano's high-yield strategies of looking at objects, pictures, or concepts and deciding how they are alike and or different. When you compare, you are pointing out the similarities. When you contrast, you are showing the differences. FlipGrid is a great way to help students compare objects, stories, math problems, etc. For example, in the given template, students are asked to compare and contrast 2 apples. They are to look at the picture and then record a video that describes at least 2 ways these pictures are similar and 2 ways these pictures are different. You can do that with just about any picture. You can pose 2 topics, one to tell how they are alike and one how they are different. There are so many different ways you can use the digital compare and contrast. KWL is an instructional strategy that is used to guide students through a text. Students begin by brainstorming everything they know about a topic. Students then generate a list of questions about what they want to know about a topic. During or after a reading, passage, or unit of instruction, students then discuss what they learned about the topic, making sure to answer any questions that they had before the reading passage or unit was completed. Here, in this strategy for FlipGrid, students will record a short video describing what they already know about a topic, making sure to include any questions that they have. The class will then complete the reading passage or unit of instruction. As a reflection or as an assessment, students will then come back and reply to their original video to discuss what they learned and answer the questions that they had themselves. Sequencing means being able to arrange information, language, and actions in the correct order. We use sequencing to learn to read, write, and to follow steps to complete an action. We use these skills to follow multi-step directions, complete a math problem, and break larger tasks up, form complete sentences with correct syntax, or retell a story. Retelling activates students' knowledge of how stories or instructions work and allows the teacher a way to assess how well students comprehend a story or reading passage. Have students read a passage, story, or article that has a sequence of steps. Then have them summarize or retell the steps in their own words using a FlipGrid video. In this activity, when you click on this activity in FlipGrid, you will see that students at the reading camp were given the instructions for making a s'more. Students were then told to make a video by retelling in their own words and by showing, using chocolate, marshmallows, and graham crackers, how to make a s'more. Attached to this document on FlipGrid, you will see that there's a mixtape of some of the reading camp students in grades 1 through 3. They're just hilarious, and you need to go watch them. It's a great way to see if the students actually understood the instructions. One of my favorite activities to do with students on FlipGrid is giving them a virtual choice board. You've probably heard about choice boards, but the purpose of the choice board is to display options to students and have them choose what they want to do. A FlipGrid virtual choice board allows your students to choose questions or activities that they would like to participate in or to answer. For example, first grade students in this activity were to read along and listen to a video from ReadWorks. The passage was called The Bicycle Problem. The teacher then created 3 topics in FlipGrid, and the students were to choose at least one topic to complete: main idea, beginning, middle, or end, or problem and solution. The students recorded a video explaining their topic in regards to the reading passage. They were allowed to choose one topic or more. You can create one FlipGrid topic and post a list of questions within the topic, or have each choice as its own separate FlipGrid topic. The digital listen to reading is a great strategy to use with your students. Children take great pleasure in listening to stories. Hearing a book read to them helps them see how the words on a page can come alive in a fluid, expressive way. It helps the student focus on the sounds of words read without interruption and provides a model of fluent reading. It also provides an important introduction to listening, a skill that students must master in order to learn to read. In the digital listen to reading topic that we've used with elementary students as a listening and reading comprehension practice, we posted a video of the story being read, and then they respond. So the method can be used for homework in small listening centers or as a method for flipping your classroom. Teachers can record their own video. You can do this right in your FlipGrid topic, or you can attach a YouTube video of a book or reading passage. Students will then respond to the video by recording answers to comprehension questions about the story or reading passage. And you just post the comprehension questions right there in your instructions. Little did you know, you can also have your students digitize their solving math problems. So we all know that inappropriate homework is a waste of everyone's time and can decrease student achievement according to all the research. However, homework that is purposeful produces quite modest gains in elementary grades. The key is the right kind of homework. It has the right level of interest, and students can complete it independently with a high level of success. This is where FlipGrid comes in, and using the whiteboard mode, teachers can provide a math problem for students to solve. You can also attach how to solve the problem in a video or document, but your students will then use the whiteboard built right into the FlipGrid camera, and they will explain their thinking and critique the reasoning of others as they work through the math problem. Use the whiteboard mode for students to write and work out the problem directly in the video. Another one of my favorites is the digital FlipGrid exit ticket, and you may see this at the end of this presentation again. Students create a FlipGrid about any content area by summarizing new information in their own words. This can be used as an exit ticket. What are the things you learned? What questions do you still have? Students then respond to what they are doing in class by identifying knowledge that they have acquired and paraphrasing or summarizing it. I'm figuring out this, I just learned this, what was the most important idea from today's lesson, etc. Another of my favorite FlipGrid topics is commercials. Try adding a variation to advertising an item. Have your students create a commercial and record it as a response on FlipGrid. Add your own rubric if desired. What props did they use? What target language did they use, etc. Ideas for commercials could be to persuade someone to read a book, advertise content out of a unit, or actually sell something that the class made. For example, attached to this topic in FlipGrid is a link to a mixtape. These second graders created Christmas ornaments to raise money for a staff member who had cancer. Teachers used the project as an IB project and did activities surrounding the making of the ornaments. Students created commercials. We advertised the commercials on Facebook, Twitter, and Class Dojo to parents and community members using the mixtape videos. Use a prompt similar to, using your knowledge of blank, make your own original commercial. Add props, images, music to make your commercial stand out. One real creative way to use FlipGrid is to use it as a class virtual wax museum, especially in the time of social distancing where you cannot hold public events. The virtual wax museum could be perfect. First, students will research a famous person. You might use it for Black History Month, or a famous scientist, or a famous woman, or someone you learned about in music class. And students become them as they present their character in a wax museum. Students research their person and actually dress up as that person as part of the wax museum presentation. We've done this activity where students dress up as their character, they stand like a statue, and their laptop is placed on the desk in front of them. When we had activities at the school, the parents and community representatives would visit, watch the video that was recorded, or we've also done it where students dress up and then do their FlipGrid recording. The teacher could create a mixtape of the Wax Museum biographies and play them at an open house or place them on the website for a virtual open house. The first activity extension that we did, students can ask questions they have by responding to each other about their famous person. The other activity extension was that they use the AR FlipGrid QR code of the video and tape them on a poster or artwork written about the famous person. Fluency is defined as the ability to read with speed, accuracy, and proper expression. In order to understand what students read, children must be able to read fluently, whether they are reading out loud or silently. When reading out loud, fluent readers read in phrases and add intonation appropriately. Students will record themselves in FlipGrid reading their fluency text. They will record the time it took to read in the title of the video. The next day, or the next time they will read the text again, trying for a faster time. They are to set a goal within 10 seconds of their recorded time. For example, if it took them 1 minute and 30 seconds to read the first time, a good goal would be 1 minute and 20 seconds for the following day. Students would reply to their original video, The next time they read, they reply to the next video, and so on and so forth. Another fun activity to do with FlipGrid is the digital build a story. As a class, you can write and record a story using the FlipGrid video recorder. The teacher would provide the title of the story and possibly even the first sentence. Students will draw numbers to see the order of the recording, and students will record one video at a time. Each student will build upon the prior student's video. Continue in this manner until all students have added to the story. Each student must listen to the previous student's stories and then add to the story. Each student should build upon the storyline, plot, characters, and conflict based on the information provided by the previous students. The final student should give an interesting ending. You can also add in what vocabulary they should be using. You could give them some plot and content information, or maybe tell them what kind of conflict that needs to be in the story. It's up to the teacher what to provide for the students ahead of time. A great way to reinforce effort or provide recognition to your students is to have special messages for them. FlipGrid can be used to send messages to an entire class or to an individual student. This motivates them for a test or a special event. For example, when you look at this topic in the Discovery channel of FlipGrid, the mixtape attached are messages from parents to their child on the first day of kindergarten. These messages wish them luck and give their expectations as a student. The students absolutely loved it. Some other ideas would be to have parents use their phone and download the FlipGrid app, or leave a laptop out at an open house and have parents record a special video. We've also had older students leave special messages for younger students, or our teaching staff would leave special messages for grade levels that we're testing. The best of is another form of an exit ticket. This is where students would share the best part of their school year, or they could summarize what happened on a field trip, what was the best part of a project that they did, what did they learn in the project, or summarize a unit, etc. The best of. Marzano says that it's important for students to set goals. It's also important for students to know, what do I already know that will help me achieve these goals, and what actions will I need to do to ensure that I achieve these goals. The Giving Advice FlipGrid activity allows former students to give advice to current students about a certain topic, unit, or subject. For example, when you look at this topic on the Discovery Library, the attached mixtape combines two classes, a first grade class and a fourth grade class, giving advice to younger students for the next school year and how they can be successful. Other integration ideas are, you could do advice for playground safety, advice for computer safety, advice for students who are being bullied, etc. So those were my 15 ideas on using FlipGrid with the Marzano's high yield strategies. However, you can also find FlipGrid inspiration for topic ideas on your social media platforms. You can follow FlipGrid on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. You will find a load of new ideas for your classroom from other educators all around the world who love to share their ideas. Please be sure to follow me on Twitter @GJRobinson. Make sure to tweet out your experience about today's session by using the following hashtags: FlipGrid, Onslow DLT, and Site Interactive 2020. Be sure to let me know if you have any questions or comments about Flip over FlipGrid. Alrighty, now is your chance to try FlipGrid out as a student. When you come to this PowerPoint slide, you can click on the link for the 321 exit ticket below, or you can go directly to flipgrid.com and put in the join code 6A7C2344. There you'll be able to answer some important questions so I know who joined us today, what you learned, and how you think you are going to use FlipGrid in your classroom. Thanks for joining me today.